Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing the India AI Impact Summit 2026, emphasized the need to democratize artificial intelligence and called for a transparent approach to data sharing. Speaking at the opening of the India AI Impact Summit 2026 at Bharat Mandapam, Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled India's Manav vision for AI, which he described as a framework to advance humanity's welfare. He stressed that humans should not be treated as mere data points and that AI must serve as a tool for inclusion and empowerment, particularly for countries in the global south. His address was followed by a family photograph. Let me in fact introduce the guests who are joining us on the broadcast to take this discussion forward. Parth Amin, who is the co-founder and CEO of Decode Age. Ritesh, let me introduce some piece of information right now that is coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met the Prime Minister of Greece and on the sidelines of the AI Summit in New Delhi. Both the leaders have held a bilateral meeting as well. All right, so we saw an earlier bilateral as well with the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and now we are seeing that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has in fact held bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of Greece as well. You have those visuals on your screens. Let me in fact introduce the other guests who are on the panel with us. Ritesh Bhatia, cybersecurity expert; Ronita Sen-Gupta, AI ethics and governance expert; Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist; and Nilesh Bhojani, who is the Vice President of Product Engineering, Seclor. Thank you so much all for joining us on the broadcast. We appreciate your time. If I can first go across to Parth on this, sir, how are you looking at the India AI Summit? We are seeing a lot of announcements being made. We saw the Prime Minister's vision, the Manav vision for AI going forward. He's spoken about a lot of talking points. What's the most important takeaway for you?
Yes, I think at this particular time in India, when all of us are looking into AI and how and what can be done in AI, the largest revolution India can have in this particular time period would be replacing doctors and consultations with AI consultations. And this is something what we have seen with a lot of AI startups in this AI summit, which has also been promoted. In this, the major concern which I see is how are we going to set up policies around it. The opportunities are immense, and we see there is a good support which has been provided, which has started been provided from the government and the institutes around. But what would be the policy to control the set of data within India? Because currently all this particular AI platforms are majorly using US or China data centers, and how do we bring it to India? That's something what we are looking into. But yes, I think at the current particular position, we will be seeing a lot of innovations in healthcare platforms.
Absolutely. In fact, Mr. Bhatia, if I can also get your first reactions to this entire AI summit. You're a cybersecurity expert. Everyone has been talking about AI as a double-edged sword. How are you looking at this going forward? The Prime Minister has in fact spoken about, developing a framework that governs AI so that going forward these deep fakes do not create a disturbance in this sector.
Well, the deepfakes have already been creating a lot of disturbance all across, and especially whenever it is the election period. And now even we are going to go through an election period in West Bengal. So I'm pretty sure a lot of fake news and misinformation, disinformation is going to be propagated. But the center has taken a good stand by saying that within 3 hours, they are supposed to bring down whenever anything like this happens. Now, coming back to the AI summit, not very impressed with it. because it could have been handled much better. There could have been a lot more policy decisions that could have been taken. But yet I appreciate, the Honorable Prime Minister talking about Manav and, very clearly spoken about governance. He's also spoken about the morality of it. And my major concern is this going to reach to the masses or not? That is something that we really have to see. As Parth was also saying that, the most of the models, we all know it's from the West and especially from the US and from the China. So yes, we need to develop it indigenously as such, but by the time that stack is built up, wherein we can say, okay, this is something, we can proudly say that this entire stack is ours, we don't have to worry about it. Till then, we have to be very cautious as far as the cyber crimes are concerned. You're already seeing the voice clones. I mean, they are increasing day by day. Deep fakes that are there, we are not able to distinguish it. And whether it's the authentic original video or whether it is a deep fake. Like even if you look at the Epstein files, now what happened over there? You saw a lot of people eating the flesh of the babies, and most of them were deep fake. They were not the real ones. But then I wouldn't blame the users as such. I would. It was the responsibility of the intermediaries to detect it. See, today naked eye cannot detect whether it's a deep fake or whether it's an original video. So why I'm a little bit tad disappointed about the AI summit, because what happens about the accountability? Like in Manav, the A stands for the accountability. What happens about the accountability? Who's going to take up that particular accountability? I think we need and even when Prime Minister Modi ji has spoken about governance, I think regulation and governance is extremely important, and not just only at the India level, but at the global level. Because we've done the same mistakes earlier also in cyberspace. We tried to regulate it, we tried to govern it, but it was too little and too late. But now is the time that they really need to walk the talk and act on it. Over to you.
Absolutely. In fact, let me introduce some piece of information that is coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral talks with the Dutch Prime Minister as well on the sidelines of the India AI Impact Summit. Now, the leaders in fact discussed harnessing artificial intelligence for economic and social growth, and noted the conclusion of the India-EU FTA negotiations and agreed to strengthen cooperation in technology, in innovation and economic partnership. They also reaffirmed their commitment to a global fight against terrorism. Let me in fact rope in Ronita Sen Gupta, who's an AI ethics and governance expert onto this. Ma'am, when we're looking at governance as a whole, the Prime Minister also spoke about this during his address. He's spoken about ethical governance. He's spoken about India leading this charge, showing the world how you can implement AI in governance. And we saw his meeting with the Dutch Prime Minister. They were in fact also looking at more cooperation in this sector. They're looking at how we can harness artificial intelligence for social growth as well. How are you looking at this sector growing?
Let me, thank you for the question. And I would like to also, put this point forward that while I'm not a tech expert and I'm focusing more on AI ethics and governance, but I run a foundation called Realize, where sometime back we started with AI Elevation Labs, where we've been focusing on AI ethics and governance and figuring out the biases that we see present in the existing AI platforms. And I think it's not only us, there are other organizations who are also into this particular segment who are doing that. So for today, definitely, while we are having this massive summit at a global scale, okay, and there are a whole lot of, obviously thoughts and perspective about it, but there is a need to have our indigenous and sovereign AI models. I definitely believe in that. And even if we are building those, AI governance should be the most crucial part of the development phase. So when Honorable Prime Minister spoke about Manav, where he has emphasized on the moral and ethical systems, about accountability, about national sovereignty, accessibility, inclusiveness, legitimacy, I definitely feel that these should be the 5 pillars of AI tools, and this is what exactly the AI governance stands for. So, needless to say, that doesn't matter what we are building in our country or what we are adapting from other countries, our platforms should be used ethically with no misuse and should be free from all kind of biases, because we have to look at a lot of communities. We have to look at the vulnerable population as well. And I keep on saying that whether it's women, it's children, it's senior citizens, they're all vulnerable to a lot of AI biases and crimes or misuse of AI that we've seen that's been happening. So yes, definitely AI governance, AI ethics will form an extremely critical part of whatever new policies or whatever new AI tools and technology we bring about. Over to you.
Absolutely. In fact, I will come back to that discussion, but let me introduce some more information that is coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a bilateral meeting with the Swiss President Guy Parmelin on the sidelines of the India AI Impact Summit being held in the national capital till February 21st now. Now, Parmelin is among the 20 world leaders invited to participate in the summit. The meeting took place amid growing engagement between India and Switzerland in the areas of artificial intelligence, innovation and digital governance. Let me rope in Gautam Mukherjee into this discussion. Sir, obviously when we are looking at the Manav vision, what are your first thoughts regarding this outline, this framework that the Prime Minister has set?
Well, I think the best way to take it forward in a reasonable period of time is to ally as much artificial intelligence in the pursuit of governance. Now, governance in a country like India is a large task. There are many union ministers, there are many states and their cabinets, and there are three lots of areas according to our constitution: the central area, the joint state and central area, and purely state areas. Now, all of this suffers from a good deal of red tape. In some cases, massive corruption as well, and implementation leaks, implementation misdirections. That means money meant for a particular purpose diverted to another. So there's a lot of work to be done. The ethical aspects are embedded in modernizing all of this. Now, if we get on with it, I think we will be benefiting the maximum number of our people. It's obvious in places like education, agriculture, health, general administration, disbursement of welfare. In all of these areas, quite apart from help to the manufacturing sector, both large and small and medium, the services sector, there is, if I see this huge jamboree that has been extended now for 2 extra days, and all the heads of state and all the governments and ministers and all the different companies that have come in, they may have their models ready, but they don't have a market like this. They do not have a market like this, one which is not passive, which is quite capable of creative AI work and is in need of large investment, because the data centers cost a lot of money. We are setting some of them up. We are being helped by some of the biggest like Google, but we could do with a lot of investment to have our own data centers. And that is the one way to keep control of our data, which otherwise is likely to be hosted abroad. It's like the internet, except far bigger and far wider in scope. So that's the way to go. I wouldn't, as I've said time and again on these discussions over the last 2 or 3 days, I wouldn't overemphasize fear and control at the early stages. That is why most of the countries who have developed AI to a greater extent than ourselves do not over-regulate in the beginning. There will come issues that will emerge and we will have to deal with them. But right now it's a matter of implementation and progress.
Absolutely. In fact, there's some more information coming in. Let me introduce that. At the AI Summit, the Gates Foundation Chief Strategy Officer Ankur Vora has announced the launch of Advantage India for AI, an initiative aimed at bringing together innovators and philanthropists from India and the Global South to advance AI for social good. Let me in fact rope in another guest of ours who is with us on the broadcast, Nilesh Bhojani, who is the Vice President of Product Engineering of Seclor. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, when we are looking at such developments, when we are looking at the entire AI summit, obviously this is an opportunity for all kinds of startups, for all kinds of people looking at AI being the next big thing in the future.
Definitely, I think it is an opportunity, for startups, but also, large enterprises and organizations across the country. And I think, as Gautam ji said, it's time for implementation, it's time for excitement, and organizations are kind of in a tight spot in some way, because you want to take advantage of this new technology and in the opportunity that exists. But at the same time, there's a risk, right, that you will lose control of your data. There's a fear that what will happen to my data, and that fear is only become more real now with X like DPDP, which has a real penalty attached to when your personal identify information of your customers might leak. And there is also the intellectual property that might get leaked and be used by the AI models if you share data. So what is really important is for organizations to have visibility over what is happening, where the data is being used, how it is being used. And the sovereignty of AI models is definitely one big aspect in that regard, and I'm glad to see that there is advancement in that area, and India is making progress. But the reality is that there's a lot to catch up, right? And a lot of the advanced models are not in India, and at least for the short term, they will not be in India. So we do need to have control over where the data is going, and we hear this very often from our customers, and that's why we as a company also recently launched Seclor. We pivoted and launched our Seclor Armor, which provides data security intelligence, helping companies have the visibility and control over the data. And in general, we have seen that the whole traditional security model about securing the perimeter, right? And that's no longer valid, because you cannot really keep data within a specific container. Data needs to move, and that's why data security, securing the data wherever it goes is really important. So moving from AI risk to AI readiness is something that is a need of the time, need of the hour. And we are hearing that a lot of organizations are still not sure of how to do that. Over the next 6 months, 1 year, I think that's going to be a really important aspect for us as a nation to grow and take advantage of this opportunity. It's going to be important that government as well as private organizations take this very seriously and invest the resources, both in terms of you know developing the tools and techniques and processes, and also upskilling people, so that we take advantage of these opportunities and do not get left behind.
Absolutely. In fact, there's some more information coming in. The Mistral AI CEO Arthur Menz, speaking at the AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi, has said that the future belongs to those who build, deploy and take ownership of artificial intelligence. He stressed on the importance of giving users full control over their AI workloads, ensuring business continuity and avoiding dependency on external providers who could restrict access. He also emphasized that in a future where openness and autonomy are considered fundamental, countries and regions must have the ability to chart their own AI path and shape their technological destiny. Parth, if I can come to you on this, this is a very important and pertinent point that has been raised by the CEO. He's speaking about autonomy. He's speaking about sovereignty of data, which in fact our Prime Minister as well spoke about. He said, "Jiska data, uska hak." And our Prime Minister has also in fact laid out this framework that we need to work for ourselves. We need to make sure that we are not just consumers but developers and innovators in this sector.
Oh, absolutely correct. But we are missing down on one of the very fundamental question which comes around quality of data, because where in India, when we see most of the things are unorganized, we see the quality of data is not right. Even in health, if you tell me all the hospitals will store their data in their own particular structure, but if you want to take it and use it into AI, and even governance, even government, if they have to bring this particular data together, there is a big mishap. So there has to be a fundamental structure in this particular data so that it can be passed to particular customers going forward and see how they can really see the lifelong data of their particular health journey, and then map it for the future of how and what steps to be taken up in the coming period of time. So this is something what we have seen in health on the longer period of time, and real examples, if you see, there are companies like Whoop.
All right, so we have, in fact, I apologize for interrupting you, Parth, but we have some visuals that are coming in. We have the French president actually meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They have held a discussion, and remember that both the leaders were also present at the AI Impact Summit in the morning today, and this is Prime Minister Modi with the French President Emmanuel Macron. They both have held discussions as well. A bilateral discussion was held, and we have those visuals that we are bringing for you right now. All right, let's talk about also why this is important, because we are talking about a lot of agreements with France as well going forward. Let me rope in Gautam Mukherjee on this. Sir, this is, apart from the AI summit, we are also looking at a lot of agreements, a lot of trademark deals with France.
Yes, in defense in particular, there is a large number of very exciting developments. The 114 Rafales, then 30 plus, I think 38 new naval Rafales, a helicopter collaboration, a engine collaboration, a possibility of getting the latest version of Rafale with a new engine, 50% plus indigenization, including a lot of Indian armaments being attached. You know, this was a problem in Sindoor because we couldn't launch Rafales, the missiles, the BrahMos missiles from the Rafales because we couldn't attach them. We had to do it from the Sukhoi. Of course, the Sukhoi is also capable of picking up a heavier load. So there are various issues, and I think the Prime Minister and Macron have been spending as much time together ever since Macron arrived. And once Macron departs, it'll probably be Lula's turn from Brazil. He's got the Embraer as well on the anvil. So yes, there's AI going on, but there's also bilateral summits happening simultaneously. There's a lot of improvement on and you know, face-to-face acknowledgement of the EU India trade deal. So many heads of government of different EU nations are here. So it is a lot of things. This is an unusual summit in a sense that I think the political component, the diplomatic component is very high, At the same time, there are people who are technically able to take advantage of these, various offerings and are busy collaborating, making contacts and the like. So it's a lot of things. And I think India is being acknowledged for the position it now has in the world, and it's emerging into the third largest power. I think we will be at 5 trillion before long, and at the threshold of the third largest power, perhaps even before 28. And going forward with all of this, I was listening to an ambassador in the earlier session in the morning, and he said that this AI could add some 500, 550 billion in business to India just by itself. So we're talking very large numbers, very fast, and capable of many things we are not properly aware of at this moment.
Absolutely, Mr. Mukherjee. In fact, let me just address these visuals that we are running on our screens right now. This is live from the Bharat Mandapam, where the AI Impact Summit is being held currently, and we can see the industry bigwigs, Mr. Adani and Mr. Ambani, actually at the summit over there. They are also over there to observe what kind of stalls have been put up, what kind of technology has come in, and obviously this is something that the entire industry is looking forward to.
AI will deliver huge economic gains. It will have twice the impact of the Industrial Revolution in just half the time. But what we are seeing here at this summit is how AI will raise the floor for humanity. Rural clinics will soon be able to offer the same level of medical expertise as big teaching hospitals. As the son of a doctor and as the parent of 2 girls blessed with the best medical care the world can provide, as the grandson of someone born in rural Tanzania, I know what a difference this will make. It will lead to an improvement in human health and happiness that we have not seen before. Farmers on their small holdings will be able to call on the combined expertise of the world's best agronomists and soil scientists. In the greatest step forward ever for equality of opportunity, every child will now have access to a personalized tutor. It won't matter if you're born in the Lutyens bungalow zone or in Ali Rajpur, you will, thanks to this technology, have the same educational opportunities. It will be the greatest democratization of knowledge ever. Friends, this is the new world that we are entering. Never before in human history will so many people receive a boost to their quality of life. That will be this technology's greatest achievement. And that will be your legacy. Thank you.
That was the former UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who spoke at the Bharat Mandapam during the AI Impact Summit. All right, some more information coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken to social media platform X and said that the AI Impact Summit, he emphasized the importance of building a human-centric global AI ecosystem. He highlighted that throughout history, humanity has turned disruptions into opportunities, and the rise of AI is yet another such pivotal moment. He also called for collective efforts to create a roadmap, ensuring that AI delivers the right impact, achieved through timely decisions and effective forward-looking policies. Let me in fact rope in Mr. Bhatia on this. Sir, when we are looking at this kind of development for the AI, we are looking at a more human-centric ecosystem that India wants to, it has a vision towards working for it. And our Prime Minister in fact has also highlighted how AI, obviously, it's a sky full of opportunities, but we need to make sure that we are the people who are holding the steering wheel.
Yeah, see, what he said is absolutely fine, but then the question remains that what kind of support we will get. Like here, there are like, startups like what Parth is over here, Nilesh from Seclor is there. I mean, even what is our spending in research and development? It is less than 1% as compared to 4% of China or US. What is our spending in research and development? It's always been very, very low as such. Moreover, we have always been of a mentality of adopting things and not innovating. And when we innovate, we don't get that kind of support. We have seen this mistake happening time and again. Like when the IT revolution was there, we were just mere coders. We were not innovators. We were the people behind the scenes, writing like thousands and millions lines of codes as such. When the web came, what kind of giants have we produced? Not really, not many as such. Then again, when it comes to the digitalization, yeah, and one thing I'm very proud about is our UPI. But besides that, what? So this is the time. This is the time when the government has to step in. Why the other countries are able to create, well, China has been able to create DeepSeek. I mean, just a small company, and those people were like, you saw the kind of bloodshed that happened in the stock exchanges of of New York. What was that because of? It was because of DeepSeek. Nobody ever thought that Sam Altman's OpenAI could get competition overnight, and that actually happened as such. So this is why this happened, because they had a lot of support from the government, from the industry. Now, when you spoke about two big business leaders coming up over there, are we in that particular case just looking at, like Mr. Mukherjee said about billions of dollars flowing in? But where is it going? Is it going to go to like, to the smaller companies also, so that they can also do a lot of research, a lot of innovation? Will that money also be going to, let's say, the policymakers, to our public institutions? IITs have always done a brilliant job. So are we going to create more centers of excellence from the governments, and rather than the private university showing that they have put 350 crores and we saw what kind of dogs they got over there, right? So this is not that what we are looking at. And it shouldn't be happening that, okay, only the capitalists are going to make a lot of money. This is the time when our Gen Zs, the millennials, they have a lot of entrepreneurial spirit as such. A lot means lot. They just need that guidance. They need that support. And who better than the government supporting them? So I think it's time that the government actually pulls up its socks, and like what Mr. Mukherjee said earlier also, he pointed out about the corruption. And that's exactly even my concern. The red tapeism is my concern. The bureaucracy is my concern. So how will these funds be going? And when there are certain innovations, are our politicians just going to brush it aside? I hope not.
All right. In fact,